Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So guys, in this video we will have our discussion on a topic which I generally refrain from talking in my channel, in my videos, because my approach in astrology is very spiritual, religious, and I try to be as optimistic as it is possible. Like, you would not believe the way certain people and certain blogs explain certain yogas. I even read somewhere in some of the classical interpretation done by someone, that if your seventh lord is going to be placed in the third house, you are going to your wife is going to have a relation with your sibling. So again, there has been lot many stuff which goes on when it comes down to the person who is doing the interpretation. Astrology is never at the fault, and astrology is very diverse as well. So that is the only reason, the more personalized you become, the more precise your predictions are going to be, your analysis is going to be. But somehow in these kind of videos, I generally prefer to stay as optimistic, as positive as it's possible. But just because at the time when I'm recording this video, it's the time of the Scorpio Anuradha new moon, so my mind was also filled with a lot of the thoughts of mortality, life purpose, deeper meaning and all. So I just thought, okay, let's have our discussion on these kind of topics only, like when we talk about what and how you can see someone's aura while looking at someone's chart, or even when we talk about the negative entities, any sort of negative spirit kind of attack, vulnerability of that, or in a way when we talk about the anything connected with the delayed combination, delayed yoga, or any sort of cursed kind of combination or yoga. So what kind of planetary conjunction are responsible for that? In this video we will try to have our discussion on that. So guys, to begin with, see, you have to first understand, when we talk about the aura, that is one such thing which in any person's astrological chart you get to know via studying the strength of the moon, studying the strength of the sun, and studying the strength of the ascendant. These three entities will give you this information, how strengthened someone's defense system is, immunity is, how well you are protected from any of the interference from any of the external entity. And guys, when we are interpreting the moon, you do not only have to look at that moon is exalted, so then that means it's strong, or moon is it is debilitated, that means it's weak. So the phase in which moon is, the more moon is closer to the full moon, the strengthened it is going to be in the classification. Along with that, the tithi, the whole panchang in short, the tithi, the var, the yog, karan, nakshatra. So scrutinization of moon becomes very important. Moon is very impressionable. The kind of planetary vibration it is surrounded by, doing an analysis of that will also become very important. After that, you have to see the state of the sun as well. Is sun in the influence of, this could be Rahu or Ketu, this could be under the influence of the planet Saturn. Your sun is placed in the, obviously sun's placement in the chart can be decoded on the basis of the time of your birth as well. But generally we say this thing, that if your sun is placed in the 8th house, in the 12th house, it somehow tend to become little bit weak, or you're born at a time close to the Sankranti, when sun is about to transition to a new sign. It is in between that transition, close to the time of the middle of the month, 14th, 15th or 16th. And during those days, if you are born and sun is right at the transition, even if it is crossing the Gandanta zone as well, then we can say that sun is little bit weak. Your soul is somehow very much prone and vulnerable towards any sort of panic attack, spirit attack, or this could be a case that you might be very impressionable to the environment around you. And guys, that is the only reason, when these kind of people with vulnerability in their chart, having a weak ascendant lord, having a weak ascendant, having a weak moon or sun, and then they expose themselves towards any of the negative external influence. This could be a situation where you have gone to a group setting over where people are not very welcoming towards your presence. And generally what happens is that See, in this kind of situation, people who are a easy target, in their case, their sun, moon and ascendant is going to be weak, and people who are going to have strong Saturn and Rahu. So these are among those people who can actually give you the evil eye and all. So in these kind of situation, you have to be very careful, because generally what happens is that if your aura is going to be weak, so like I have seen people who start losing their individuality. They tend to remain very impressionable. They start crying very easy, or their own opinions do not matter at all. So in these kind of situation, having a strong aura and giving strength to these three entities becomes very important. Now guys, just because this is the time when we can have our discussion on this, like when we talk about any of the cursed kind of yoga or those kind of alignment which makes our subconsciousness very much prone towards the external threat. So in those kind of combination, generally it has been seen that the combinations are always formed because of the participation of Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, and in any way if they are influencing your moon, then you tend to remain very easily susceptible towards all these kind of things. Like so many new form of predictions which people have come up with, and I'm very much sure that a lot of them do not have their mention in the classical text. Like the way we know this thing that Saturn Rahu is not considered as a very good yoga. Now these days people have started blending it with artificial intelligence and all. Saturn and Ketu is considered as a very dreaded combination. In the classical text it has been written to the lens regarding the way it can make you vulnerable. I will explain you about what could be the probable outcome. So now these days people are talking about that if Saturn Ketu are conjunct in these kind of form of prediction, it means that you have some sort of expertise, this and that. But again, understand this thing, these planets are very heavily karmic planets. Like if Saturn Ketu are conjunct in your chart, even if they are placed in like a sign like Capricorn, a sign like Libra, where Saturn is considered as very strong, then also in the matters of that house you will find delays, you will find blockage. So okay, now let's start our discussion. When I say anything to do with the being very much prone and easy target for any spirit attack, any external interference and all, so in those kind of cases you will generally find in those charts that moon is somehow involved and is in the influence of Saturn Rahu or Saturn Ketu. So the dreaded yoga which we are talking right now in this video is that if Saturn is going to be conjunct with either Rahu or Ketu, and if moon is a part of that, and if this combination is taking place, let's say for example in the 8th house, it is taking place in the 5th house, it is taking place in your 1st house, it is taking place in your 12th house, and in this combination if Saturn is your ascendant lord, or let's say for example moon is your ascendant lord, you are a Cancer Lagna, or in any way your ascendant lord, your 5th lord is also a part of that, then this just tells about very heavy karmic life. And guys, like the way whenever we read any sort of newspaper and we come across those kind of very bizarre kind of incidents and events which makes us feel like this, that okay, this person was just a victim, oh my god, how can someone be so unfortunate and all. So these are those kind of charts, these are those kind of combinations. Now I do not know how come people these days, just to sell their courses and all, they are painting it in a good light. But if someone says that Saturn Rahu moon conjunction in the 8th house is a blessing, then I do not know what to say on these kind of situation. So what I'm saying over here is that, see, first of all, the very first part is about the acceptance and about the diagnosis, like right diagnosis of these kind of combination. So like the way I mentioned this thing, because generally what happen is that in these kind of combination, it generally makes the health of the native vulnerable. It makes the, see, in any person's, any human life, there are like couple of things which are considered as the mandatory thing or the lifetime thing. Like I still remember, like there was in one of the scripture I was reading, it was mentioned over there, like when like Lord Brahma initially he created like humans, and those humans, their name was Sanak. I do not quote me on this because I read that long time back, but they were like all of them, even after the creation by the creator Brahma, they all, rather than copulating and contributing towards the creation, they all started ascending towards the liberation. So then Brahma realized the mistake, that okay, he needs to put the kama, the desire, in the human, so that the nature will keep on getting procreating. So what I'm saying over here is that there are like certain things based on our own individual choice. You can prefer or choose to stay single. That is a different case, but this is not what the nature wants out of you. Nature wants you to procreate, so that the creation and the sustenance of the nature will keep on happening. So what I'm saying over here is that these are certain kind of yogas over where you will find that either it will make your health vulnerable, it will make the matrimonial part vulnerable, or it will make the your lineage, like progeny, the childbirth, vulnerable. And when we say vulnerable, so a lot many times the problems are going to be of the nature for which you're not going to have any rational explanation. You might not be able to find a scientific explanation for that. And that is what I'm trying to say over here, that whenever you will find moon to be hemmed between Saturn, Ketu, or moon to be hemmed between Saturn or Rahu, this makes someone's life very much prone towards unseen forces troubling the native, unseen forces bothering the native. A lot of the major events in the life of the native can get delayed. And whenever we come across all those kind of news, like some very bizarre incident happened, like recently only in one of the province in India, they were like very youngsters, very young kids, they were like coming back, and they were, I guess, were drunk as well. And because of the guy who was in the driving seat, and like some other people as well, they got badly injured. And this happened like in one of the province in India. I was just reading this in the newspaper. This guy, he just wanted to take revenge on the family, like neighbors of his girlfriend, because his girlfriend's neighbor, they were like somehow turning his girlfriend against, like for breaking up with this person. And he sent some detonator, some bomb and all. And the neighbor, just because they called his own girlfriend that okay, we are not at home, and can you receive the parcel on our behalf, and it got detonated on her, and she lost her forearm. So what I'm saying is that these are not some sort of natural kind of incident. A lot many times you would have come across those kind of cases where someone was not supposed to be on that car, someone was not supposed to be on that road on that day, but just because universe had conspired for that person to be a part of that misfortune, so everything happened. So that's what I'm saying over here, that I still remember when I just started off like astrology, and I was doing professional reading over there. I still remember there was this guy, a Punjabi, like Sadaji. He came to me, very old guy, and he told me like he was very he had strong faith in astrology, and he had good knowledge on astrology as well. And he said this thing that okay, I have this big business, and this is the chart of my two sons, and one of this guy, he has got this yoga, and I'm fearful that if I will hand over my business to him, he's gonna just ruin it, he's gonna destroy it. So that's what I'm saying, that if you know someone around you who has got these kind of combination. Now again guys, over here, now do not be in this mindset that if you have these kind of combinations in your chart, so you are doomed for the life. Then what's the use of astrology? Astrology is all about planning and designing your life in sync with whatever God and destiny has given to you. Like the way we say this thing, that we all have to do our karma. Like someone who is working, serving in military, his job is no matter what happens, he has to kill. And someone who is working as a nurse, that nurse's job is to save the life come what may. So we all are doing a part of our deed, our destiny, our karma, our whatever is assigned for us, and all what is expected out of us is to live in sync with our chart. So I'm not saying it's going to be doomed. Now you must be wondering that okay Nipun, why someone is going to have this kind of yoga? So generally we say this thing. Now I can only give you the Eastern philosophy. As per the Eastern philosophy, we believe in this thing that a lot many things are also attached with some sort of sin which might be running in the family lineage. This could be a case that in the older times this was a very common norm, that your ancestors, forefathers, they try to usurp someone's land, or in some sort of like families where because of the greed or dowry, the daughter-in-law used to be burnt, and these kind of things. See, we cannot say that it only happens in India. These kind of incidents happen in all around the world, even in Canada. some of the graves of the indigenous children have been found. So it's a story in the whole world. But the problem is that if you have been a part of any sin and for which a curse has been put onto you by your by the victim, so the child who's going to be born during that time will have that combination in the chart. And guys, over there as well, like there are like certain nakshatra over where we tend to completely lose the control. Like after explaining you all the importance of the panchang, uh, the right approach of judging the strength of the moon, and the combination where moon is going to be hemmed between Saturn, Rahu, or Saturn or Ketu. But over there, the nakshatra of the moon also matters the most. So like if I were to say Rahu and Ketu's nakshatra, so like whatever combination I have explained, if moon, Saturn and Rahu are conjunct, and let's say for example, let's take up the case of the uh, Cancer Lagna. For the Cancer Lagna, in the 8th house, you will find the Aquarius sign. If Saturn, if Rahu, or the ascendant Lord Moon is placed in the 8th house, and God forbid, if they all are placed in the Sadbisha Nakshatra. So they're like certain nakshatra as well who carries the mystery and mysticism within themselves, which somehow completely gives away your free will, and somehow the external power or the higher third power somehow tend to have strong control over your life. And then people start facing the problems in a way that irrespective of the fact that you want to get married, you want to settle down, or health related concern, so a major portion of your life tend to remain filled with mystery or surprise element for which you might not have an answer to that. So if I were to say like Sadbisha, because Rahu ruled nakshatra like Adra, Swati, Sadbisha, what I have seen is that Adra can give you more of the personality based problems and issues, which could be gambling issue, you could be a bully, you might have drinking issue and all of that. That's a negative side. On a positive side, Adra can make you genius and a very scientific person as well. Swati is the millionaire's nakshatra, so Swati is all safe and all. The vulnerability of the third power of dark energies, mystery, is strongly attached with the Sadbhisha nakshatra. Now, Sadbhisha can make you a very genius scientist. Sadbhisha can make you a great tantric. Like one of the one of the very I do not know whether to call it notorious or famous tantric in India, like Chandra Swami. He was also the Cancer Lagna, ascendant lord in the 8th house, moon in the Sadbhisha nakshatra. Like one of the Indian actor, like if I'm not wrong, Govinda. He's also like all the time talking about energy, this and that, mystery, prediction, prophecy. Cancer Lagna, ascendant lord, moon being in the Sadbhisha. And I guess one of this great Indian comedian, Kapil Sharma, he's also Sadbhisha nakshatra as well. So again, he is famous. Sadbhisha is considered as very creative. Some of the greatest comedians like Robin Williams was also Sadbhisha. But again, Robin Williams committed suicide. Kapil Sharma, if you search him about him on Google, he had major episode of depression, of these kind of delusion and all which he have faced. He has admitted about it. So this is about this nakshatra of Rahu. When we talk about Ketu nakshatra, Ashwini does not make you that much prone. I'm talking more from the point of view of the blockages. Ashwini does not make you prone to that. Magha, if well placed, can give you power, so much inheritance and all. Is the Mula. Like Mool is one nakshatra. Mula is one nakshatra over where, but still I would say it's not that vulnerable. As much mysterious could be the Sadbhisha nakshatra. So yes guys, now if you have this kind of combination, so okay, now comes the part after understanding, knowing all these kind of things and all that, if you have any of this combination like moon being conjunct with Saturn, Rahu, or moon being conjunct with Saturn or Ketu, and in any way your ascendant lord, your fifth lord is a part of that, that tells about heavy blockage in the form of being very much prone towards the external entities. If you have someone around you having this kind of similar yoga, I'm very much sure that some part about the life of this person will be filled with question mark. irrespective of having everything fine, why your career is not picking up, why you are still single, why you do not have a child, why you do not have a house yet, why you were a part of that tragedy. So many things of the life which tend to remain filled or surrounded with mystery. Now what can be done? So guys, if you have this kind of combination, the very first thing is that monitoring your life becomes very important. Like, you first of all, acceptance is very important. You have to accept this thing that you cannot be competing with others. What you have got is unique, is special, and your path is somewhat different from others. Your success, people around you might have got success in their early 20s, they have got married in 30s, you might get married in mid 40s, but your success is going to be, and the parameter of your success is going to be different. That's the first thing. Second thing is that having these kind of combination, then discipline, restraint becomes very important. Having a strong character becomes very important. Like, if having these kind of combination, you are very much indulged in hedonistic lifestyle, you are not regular with your prayers, you do not, and you are not very respectful towards the nature and all, then these are those people who tend to remain or they get entrapped into those kind of tragic incidents, becoming a victim of animal attack, being stranded, people who get kidnapped, people who get subjected to random random attacks in the public and all. So yes, I can say more it from the Hindu point of view, but even if you are like you are like Sikh, you are Muslim, you are Christian, so being very regular to your devotional practices, being very religious as per your religious order and all, will become very important. Doing charities, doing donation becomes very important. Accepting your destiny becomes very important. Then you can actually deal with the kind of yoga which you have got. So yes guys, because I personally feel is that these days astrology has become more of like a therapy of counseling and guidance. So, and when people with this kind of chart comes to me, so all but I can say is that my job is more of to give them the guidance, because now I cannot say this thing that okay, there is some sort of blockage and in this area you're going to have a suffering and all, because that's not what my job is. My job is to show them how they can live best with what God has already given to them. So yes guys, the whole energy and air of today was like this only, Scorpio, Anuradha, new moon. So I just wanted to talk about like these kind of topics which I generally refrain from talking. So yes, if someone comes to you with some new form of innovation in the predictive sciences, or some new revolution in the market with some new prediction, new techniques and all, and will try to teach you that okay, Saturn moon Ketu or Saturn moon Rahu is a good combination, it's a blessed combination, you can do good in your career, so please take it with a pinch of salt. And if your lifestyle is not in control, you live life like a off the grid. Off the grid is fine, I mean to say, you do not have discipline and restraint in your life. Like the way, for example, we know this thing that whenever there's a time of the new moon, full moon or eclipses and all, the kind of diet you should be taking, how much risk when you have to take or when you have to refrain from, when planets in the transit in your dasha is making you vulnerable. So for people who have these kind of combinations in their chart, they tend to remain, or they are very much subjected to the control of the astral movements and all. So restraint and caution becomes more important in the case of these people who have this kind of combination. Like the way guys, I do not want to get into the debate of the Kalsarp yoga, but over there as well I have had one session with Anahita Rao. Over there I talked about it. Like the main key lies in like knowing that if you have planets in the excess of Rahu and Ketu, do you have Kalsarp yoga or you have the Kalsarp dosha? Like a destiny very strongly marked could be for good as well, or could be a curse as well. So it all comes down to how strongly you can identify it and how you can use it. Like the way I was watching this video where someone was talking about that astrology is also somehow dependent on the perspective as well. Like imagine if you will take up the case of one of the Indian actor, Salman Khan. Now imagine when Salman Khan's parents when he would have been born, and they would have gone to any astrologer and they would have asked the astrologer what is going to be his marital life. No, 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 he will never get married. How much is he going to be, will he be living a safe and secure life? No, he's going to have a lot of the court cases, problems with the law. He's going to have a lot of threat on the count of gangsters and all. Then they would have started thinking like this, oh, we are like doomed. We have been blessed with a kid who's going to have so much suffering. So see the way he's living his life. So again, it all comes down to perspective. It all comes down to how you can mold and make the yoga which is there in your chart and use it to the best of your potential. But yes, in the case of when moon comes in the picture, when moon comes in the combination of Saturn Rahu or Saturn Ketu, you have to respect the nature. So yes guys, I'll keep on saying, I'll keep on going otherwise. So I just wanted to talk few words on this combination. It was not at all planned. I was just kind of feeling a little bit, thinking about these kind of energies and all. So I thought of, let's record a video on this topic. So yes guys, for further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram.